Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed our segment with Frida. And we've now had the Democratic Party chairman for Pitkin County and the Republican Party chairman, in both cases chairwomen, to talk about our lack of civility and perhaps offer some suggestions on how we can create more civility. The environment here in Aspen is relatively tame. We do have our moments of excitement, but under the leadership of Frida and Blanca, you know, it's relatively contained. But they do keep their toe in the national water, and I think you see they attend the conventions and they know what's going on, and they understand that we've got to bring more civility to government. One of the areas where we lack civility, which does bother me quite a bit, and this is going to be my final piece on the deficit and on the budget, relates to the deficit part. As we said before, the deficit is growing every second. Growing by billions every day, literally. And periodically, we have to have a conversation about what that debt ceiling is. Again, what's our credit card limit? What's our credit card limit as a country? And can it be raised or not? Now, there's a lot of factors that go into how much it should be raised, et cetera, et cetera. But there's been some lines drawn in the sand of late, and this conversation has been about whether or not the time of the deficit conversation should be the time for harsh rhetoric about fixing the budget and fixing other problems. It's kind of a, you know, like a dare, you know, triple dog dare that I'll stop the government or not, depending upon what I want to have done if I don't like what's going on, and then we'll have that vote impacted with the debt ceiling. Now, again, on this show, we don't take positions, and I'm not trying to say who's right and who's wrong, but I do want to suggest this to you, and this is what I find to be very unfortunate in the rhetoric and in the politics and in the fact that we don't have compromise these days. Right now, we have been in a period of time when the Republicans, and particularly the Tea Party element of the Republican Party, has been accused of trying to shut down government, and in fact shutting down government, and all the rhetoric about how harmful that might be to the system or not. Well, if you look back to when President Bush was in office, the Democrats were doing the same thing. In fact, President Obama gave floor speeches, has been quoted for his attacks on increasing the debt ceiling when President Bush was in office. So this is the part that I find most disingenuous and representative of the dysfunction and the polarization. It's not really a legitimate conversation about the debt ceiling at any point in time, and both parties are equally to blame. So at some point we have to decide that perhaps the debt ceiling is not the place to have this conversation. If one party was doing it, maybe we could drill down and figure out why they're doing it and perhaps why they were wrong. But now you have both parties doing it. Both parties, when they're in power, defend the right of the president to increase the debt ceiling. Both parties, when they're out of power, attack that, attack it vigorously, and threaten government shutdowns to surround this. So perhaps if Blanca's correct, and Frida in particular, who talked about the need to have conversation and have more civility, perhaps we can stop having these moments of extreme, and I hate that word extreme dysfunction around government shutdown and not, and all revolving around the debt ceiling.